Hey guys, my name is Matt Johnson, and today I want to talk with you about my favorite music licensing websites that I use whenever I'm licensing music for my wedding films. And this list of sites is going to cover everything from literally like the most expensive music licensing website that I use that has amazing content, amazing songs, amazing artists, all the way down to the absolute dirt cheapest music licensing site that I use that still has incredible value and amazing songs that you're going to be shocked that you can get even though it's so cheap. So wherever you fall on the scale, whether you are a total expert filmmaker, you've been doing this for years, filming weddings in the trenches, and you're like, man, I wish that I knew of a few more music licensing websites, this video is gonna help you. Or if you're down here and you've just started filming weddings, and you're like, I'm doing it for free right now, Matt, I don't have any money. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you some amazing options that are very cheap to help you too. So wherever you fall on the spectrum, got something for you today. It's gonna be fun. But really quickly, before I jump into that, I promise it's gonna be fast. My previous video that I made was all about how I choose music that I'm gonna use in my wedding films. So how I meet with the couple, how I get to know their favorite likes and dislikes, how I choose songs for them that are gonna fit the couple, their story, and their wedding day perfectly. So I would highly recommend checking out that video. Pause this one, go watch that one. I'll link to it up in the corner and down in the description for you to check it out. And then come back to this one and you'll know where to license the songs that you're looking for. Got it? Okay, great. Now let's talk about my favorite music licensing websites. And I'm gonna start with the most expensive and work my way down to the least expensive because my favorite music licensing sites also happen to be some of the more expensive ones because I'm at the point now in my business and in my filmmaking career where I'm able to afford some of the more expensive music licensing sites for my wedding films. If you're not there yet, don't worry. At the end of this list, I go down to cheaper and cheaper sites that I still use because they have some great value. So do not worry, we're gonna cover all that. Incidentally, I will have links to all of these music licensing sites that I'm talking about here in the description of this video. So click the little show more and they'll all pop up and you can check them out. Let's start with my favorite music licensing website, which also happens to be the most expensive of the bunch. But hear me out, do not dismiss them based just on that alone. They are called Marmoset Music and they have some of my favorite music that I've ever licensed for a wedding film. At $99 a track for wedding film licensing, they are expensive, but what you get for what you pay is incredible. I think one of the reasons that I love them so much is that their music selection isn't generic. It doesn't sound like what you're getting from other music licensing sites. So if you need some sort of weirder music, some music that you're not gonna hear that maybe you wouldn't necessarily associate with a wedding film, Marmoset Music is perfect for that. And they are always where I go to first whenever I'm looking for music. If I can't find what I'm looking for, then I'll go to some of these other sites, but normally I start with Marmoset. The other reason that I really like them, not just because of their music selection, I also love their search feature because they have one of the most robust and creative search functions that I've ever seen in a music licensing site. They let you search by mood, by your characters, by your story. So you can actually drill down to your characters, the bride and groom, and you can say they're getting married, they're in love, and Marmoset will actually give you music that matches up with that character style that you're going for. But by far, the favorite search function that I have on the site that makes my job so much easier whenever I'm looking for music is that they let you search by the arc of the song. So you can choose to search for a song that starts slow and quiet and then gets louder as it goes on, or you can choose to start your search with a song that goes loud and then goes quiet, or one that has hills and valleys. So it's quiet, then it's loud, then it's quiet again, then it's loud again. That's one of my favorite things and something that I'm always looking for. Songs with variety. I want to know exactly how loud it's going to get, how quiet it's going to get, and Marmoset's search features allow me to do that, which makes finding music for wedding films so much quicker. The only real con that I would say about Marmoset is because they're not specifically a music licensing platform for wedding videographers, you're gonna deal with a lot of songs on there that would not work for a wedding. They would work great if you are doing a short film or if you are doing a documentary or anything else that you are needing music for filmmaking, but as far as songs for weddings specifically, it is a little harder to find songs than it is on other websites, so I want you to be aware of that. But back to positive, one last thing I will say about Marmoset is that their customer service is unreal. Like, when was the last time that you received a handwritten letter in the mail from a company, thank you for buying from them? I get more letters from Marmoset Music than I get from my grandma. And they're handwritten, like, thank you so much for licensing from us. We hope you're having a great day. I'm like, Who are you people? You have like interns that their sole job is just to send handwritten letters? Who does this? Up next on the list, and for $49 a track, is MusicBed, which honestly, do I really need to talk about them? They were one of the first music licensing companies to ever license music cheaply to wedding filmmakers. So I feel like most people probably know about them right now and are like, why would you even talk about them? But if you don't know, MusicBed is amazing. I love their selection. I love their music. They have one of the largest libraries, and they have some really great songs for wedding videographers. That said, one of the cons that I've heard about them over the years is that people say, well, their selection, all their music sounds alike. I don't like it. And I can see where people are coming from on that, because 2 years ago, if you went on MusicBed and you went to browse, the first songs that you would see were the most downloaded songs. So if you put yourself in the mind of people licensing music, what are they going to do? They're going to say, I need music, go to browse. Oh, these are songs. Okay. And you're not even going to click too far into the site. You're just going to pick one of the most popular songs. So everything starts sounding alike. I'm looking at you, Ben Rector. I'm looking at you, Tony Anderson. I love both of you. I've used so many of your songs, even recently, but so many people were using those songs. White Dress, hello. I know I've used it too. I'm sorry. But the issue with MusicBed was that everybody was just choosing their most popular songs. So about 2 years ago, MusicBed completely removed the most popular song list. So suddenly you don't have that option. You can't just say what's the most popular track, license it. You actually have to dig through the site and begin using it to find a lot of really, really good music right under the surface. One of my favorite ways to find music on MusicBed is to use their playlist feature, which they are updating all the time. They have playlists for everything. They have one called Summer Road Trip. They got Indie Rock. They got Summer Blockbuster. They have so many playlists for you to choose from. And that is one of the best ways to find new music, because they're adding the new music to their playlists all the time. Also, if you subscribe to their newsletter, every Tuesday they are updating their site with new artists. So if you subscribe to their newsletter, they'll send out an email saying, hey, here's a new artist for you to check out. So it's kind of a ritual now. Me and the wife, we sit down, we listen to the new Tuesday songs on the MusicBed, and we say, oh, that one would be good for a wedding. That one's really good too. I love that. And that is a really nice feature to find new songs. So if you've dismissed MusicBed before because you thought they had too many songs that sounded alike, go back and check it out again. They have some incredible songs on there. And for $49 a track, that's really not bad. Speaking of $49 a track though, MusicBed has an amazing deal if you are licensing multiple versions of a track. So if you say purchase the lyrical version of a track, the instrumental version of the track will be half off, and vice versa. So instead of you spending $50 for both tracks, you're now spending $50 for the first track and only $25 for the second track. That is wonderful whenever you need to license multiple versions of a song, or a lot of songs for that matter. Up third on my list of sites for $49 per track is Premium Beat. And while I may not use them as much as I used to, I still love many of the features that they offer with their music licensing. Namely, anytime you license a song from Premium Beat, you also get multiple versions of the song. So you will get a 15-second cut, a 30-second cut, and a 60-second cut of the song with every song that you license included in your license. And even more amazing than getting all those song versions with your one license, for that $49 license, you can use that song in unlimited other projects. So if you have another wedding later on and you're like, man, I cannot afford another song right now, use one of your previous songs from Premium Beat. That is covered under that license. If you want to make a commercial that you're going to put up on YouTube for a company they're going to pay you thousands of dollars for, you can use one of these songs that you already licensed for $49. You do not have to go and relicense it. How awesome is that? Especially whenever you consider how much more expensive it is from other music licensing sites. For MusicBed and Marmoset Music, if you want to license a song for commercial use of any sort, so even on YouTube, they are going to charge you a lot of money, especially depending on how big the company is. We're talking hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars to license one track for a commercial use project. So I realize we're talking about wedding films right now, but I know that a lot of you do corporate videos too. And so if you want to save some money on music licensing, then definitely check out Premium Beat, as well as some of the other video sites that I'm about to talk to you about. These next two sites that I want to talk to you about have the potential to be substantially cheaper than Premium Beat, than MusicBed, and Marmoset. And If you are a beginning filmmaker, these are the two sites that I would recommend that you check out first, because you're gonna save a lot of money by using these two. These next two sites are subscription based, meaning that you pay one flat yearly rate and you get unlimited music. Yes, unlimited, meaning you click download and download again and download again on as many songs as you want, and you are not gonna pay any more than that yearly rate. You get unlimited music access, which is amazing if you are starting out as a wedding filmmaker. The first music licensing website that I want to talk about is Artlist. And for a flat rate of $199 per year, you get unlimited access to their entire music library, which that's an incredible value. That is the cost of 2 music licenses from Marmoset Music. For that price, you can get unlimited music from Artlist. So if you are starting out and you are looking for music, I would definitely recommend checking out Artlist. Another massive pro of Artlist is their licensing structure. So like I said, you get unlimited usage, and that applies not only to wedding films, but to corporate and commercial videos as well. So remember how I was saying Premium Beat, MusicBed, and Marmoset, you have to pay differing amounts depending on what kind of license you want. $50 for a wedding, $100 for a wedding, and then hundreds to thousands of dollars if you wanted to license that music for broadcast, for TV. For Artlist, that's all included in the $199 a year price. So you pay that and you can make corporate videos too. You can make videos for whatever you want using that music licensing, which that value is unreal, seriously. The one thing that you do need to be aware of about Artlist is that because they are a relatively new website, they do not have a massive library of music like other music licensing websites. I know that they're adding new artists all the time, but as it is, make sure that you sign up first for free and go on and listen through their song library and make sure that you find some songs that you like and that you would use in your wedding films. I don't want to see you drop $199 and then be like, all these songs are terrible, I don't like them. So just make sure you do your homework before you spend your money. I think that's true for literally everything in life. The second subscription-based music licensing site, and my personal favorite for cheaper music licensing, is Soundstripe. And for $135 a year or $15 a month, it's cheaper if you pay yearly though, they offer unlimited music downloads just like Soundstripe, which for that value, that's crazy. One thing that I absolutely love about Soundstripe is that they are actively targeting wedding filmmakers. So if you log into their website, they have playlists like songs for wedding receptions, beautiful music for wedding highlights. And so you don't even need to dig that deep into the site and you're like, oh yeah, this song's great for weddings, this song's great for weddings, and you're not having to stress as much. So if you are starting out and you're not sure where to go, Soundstripe can be a great option because they have songs that seem to be almost tailor-made for wedding filmmakers. That said, much like Artlist, they still are a relatively smaller platform. They have about 100 music artists on their site, and I know they're adding them all the time, but I want you to be aware before you go and spend your hard-earned money. Also, Chris over at Soundstripe was super cool and gave me a custom coupon code to share with you guys. So if you go to the payment page to sign up for either their monthly or their yearly plan and you enter the coupon code WhoisMatt, you will get 10% off your purchase, which makes Soundstripe even cheaper than it already is, which is incredible. So I would definitely recommend checking that out if you're interested. The link is down in the description. Moving on. With all that considered, if I was starting out filming weddings right now, I would probably sign up for Soundstripe and Artlist, because between the two of those sites, that is a lot of music for a very cheap price for you to be able to go through and begin licensing for your wedding films. As you begin to charge more, as you become more experienced, maybe you start licensing more from Premium Beat and MusicBed and Marmoset. And then as you grow and decide more about what kind of films you want to make, then you're choosing from any one of these sites to download from. But if you're starting, Artlist and Soundstripe, amazing choices for beginners. Now I'm sure there are some of you watching this video right now and you're saying, Matt, Song Freedom, you forgot Song Freedom. What about Song Freedom? You can't forget them, which I love Song Freedom. Song Freedom is great. If you do not know about Song Freedom is a music licensing website that allows you to license a lot of mainstream artists that you can't find anywhere else. I'm talking about like One Republic, Philip Phillips, Lady Gaga. When was the last time you heard a Lady Gaga song in a wedding video and you were like, they didn't license that? No, they did through Song Freedom. And so I'm sure you're hearing this and you're like, Matt, that's amazing. Why didn't you bring up Song Freedom? Because Song Freedom is in the middle of rebranding and they're about to be called Firefly, which is kind of a cool name. I kind of like it. But they are about to become a subscription-based licensing platform, very similar to Soundstripe or Artlist. Before, you were paying per song, much like MusicBed, where you're like, I want this song, it'll be $60 a track, here you go. Now they're moving to a subscription license where it is $500 per year, so more expensive than Soundstripe or Artlist, even combined, but they are going to offer a lot of really good music, especially mainstream artists, for $500 per year, and that's unlimited downloads, just like these other subscription-based services. So suddenly you're like, man, I want a lot of Lady Gaga songs in my video, I'm just going to license them unlimitedly. You would think that, but if you read the fine print, they're actually going to charge $10 per track for the top 40 songs, so you want Lady Gaga, $10 per track. Sorry about that. They're also throwing in slideshow creation and video hosting, so that's pretty neat too. I know nothing about that. Whenever Song Freedom rebrands here very soon and they become Firefly, which I feel like you kind of have to do that, Firefly. When they do that, I will post about it on my Facebook page, the update, if you want to go check that out. The last music licensing website that I want to talk to you about is a little weird because it doesn't fit into the traditional mold of a subscription-based music licensing site or even any other music licensing site for that matter, which is kind of why I wanted to talk about it today. It's pretty cool. It's called Filmstro, and it is a combination subscription music licensing service and a software platform that allows you to customize the music. So you can kind of become a composer in a way, which is pretty neat. The way it basically works is that you download and install their software, and then you open the software and it downloads all of their songs from their music library to your computer. And the cool thing about these songs is that they're not traditional songs. These are customizable songs. Like all of the drums, all of the strings, all of the different instruments are all separated out, but not in the traditional sense of you like actually messing with the layers yourself. No, this software allows you to change the mood, the energy, the power, the momentum, the feel of the songs. And you do that by adjusting sliders. It's pretty cool. And I think that if you have a project where you have dug through so many music licensing sites and you're like, I cannot find the perfect song for this, Filmstro might be the answer for you. You should definitely check it out because having that extra bit of control that Filmstro gives you to really dial in a song, including like, I want it to have this big grand moment here and then to calm down. Sometimes you want that and you've dug through tons of songs and you've not been able to find that from a music licensing site. So why not make it yourself? That's pretty cool. That's unique. I kind of like that. Pricing wise, it is $25 per month or $250 per year for this service, but I think the value that they have is definitely unique in this space and not something you're going to get anywhere else. Have I used it a ton? No, I'll be totally honest with you, but that's because I'm usually either trying to finish wedding films as quickly as possible or trying to make videos like this for you as quickly as possible. But I think that if this is something that interests you, you should definitely check it out. And that is all of the music licensing websites that I use whenever I'm licensing music for my wedding films. Marmoset Music, MusicBed, Premium Beat, Artlist, Soundstripe, Filmstro, and Firefly, which I haven't used yet, but if it's anything like Song Freedom, I really like them, so it's gonna be a winner. All that said, I'm sure there are a ton of music licensing websites that I missed because new ones are popping up all the time. So if I missed one that you love and you think I should check out, please leave me a comment below letting me know which one that is so I can then check it out. And maybe in the future, I'll be able to make another video about this saying, hey, here's some more music licensing sites for you to check out. And now, just like I did in my last video, I wanna ask you for a favor. If this video was helpful to you, if it educated you, if it showed you some cool new music licensing sites that you didn't know of, and you found it helpful, would you please consider sharing this with some friends of yours, other filmmakers, other wedding videographers that would be helped by this video? I would absolutely love that and it'd be so awesome. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave one below or get in touch with me through my website, WhoisMatt.com. It is also a huge, like massive, gargantuan help to me if you would consider liking this video and subscribing if you'd like to see more videos like it in the future. I have also been posting a ton of behind the scenes photos and videos of my travels, trips I'm taking, behind the scenes of weddings that I'm shooting, gear thoughts, anything like that to my Instagram and my Facebook page. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's instagram.com/WhoisMatt, and I'll link to my Facebook page down in the description of this video. Last two things, I'm still offering personalized one-on-one filmmaker consulting. So if you want to sit down with me over Skype or Google Hangouts, who uses Skype anymore? I know some people still use Skype. If you want to do that, maybe FaceTime, we could talk about Any aspect of wedding filmmaking that you want to talk about. How to book more clients, how to make more money, how to make better wedding films, how to update your website to make it look more appealing to future clients. Anything like that, I would love to talk to you about that. And you can sign up for that at whoismatt.com/consulting. Very last thing, if you want to check out my wedding film production company, it's Filmstrong Productions at filmstrong.com. Go watch some of my wedding videos, or just watch them on my YouTube channel. They're here too. Either way is totally cool. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.